welcome to Your New Favorite Song here on AIM Country Music Television, where we spotlight the independent artists shaping the sound of country music today. I'm your host, Mark Gilliott, and I'm excited to be joined by singer-songwriter Jim Stanard. His thoughtful storytelling and Americana roots style have earned him a loyal following and critical acclaim. Today we're talking about his brand new release, Too Much Fun, a track that's as clever as it is catchy. And this one comes with something truly special, a fully animated music video. That's right, a full cartoon production, which is pretty rare in the country music world, and it adds a whole new layer of charm to this song. We'll nose around in Jim's creative process, his journey as an artist, and the stories behind some of this music. Let's welcome Jim to the show to talk about this new release, Too Much Fun. Hang around, let us know if this is your new favorite song. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy you're here. Glad to meet you. I think we should open with introduction. Your songs have popped up on AIM Country for a while now, so you're no stranger around here. But you have a pretty interesting history, and I think this is a good platform to use to let people get an inside look into Jim Stanard.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to. So I grew up musically in the 60s. I was graduated from high school in 1966, and played, really enjoyed the music back then. Used to go to the Main Point, which was one of the major folk clubs outside of Philadelphia, and they had most of the major folk acts would go through there. So in 64, 65, I saw great folk artists, and I played music, played guitar, and for about 15 years there through the 60s and into the 70s. And then, as I say, life got in the way, and I got involved with my career, which was very fulfilling to me in the insurance business, in the actuarial field. And I retired from full-time work in the mid 2000s, and had hardly played guitar or done anything for about 40 years. But I had time, so I thought, hey, why don't I see if I can pick this up again? And the first thing I knew I had to do was get some good teachers. So I found, after a little bit of searching, found a great guitar teacher, John Skibick, who actually plays on. It turns out he lived a couple of miles away from me in New Jersey at the time. And I got hooked up with him through a mutual friend. But he is, a fantastic musician. Has played on all three of my albums. And then I got introduced to Kip Winger, originally because I was looking for vocal lessons, and a mutual friend introduced us. And I mean, Kip is just an incredible musician, and doesn't normally give vocal lessons, but because we had a mutual friend, he sort of felt, like he had to do a favor. So he said, okay, I'll give you lessons I'll give you 6 lessons, and then I'll pass you off to somebody local. And I thought, okay, that's great. But we finished the 6 lessons, and we hit it off, and he was very impressed that I was actually doing the homework that he assigned. He said, nobody ever does the homework. So he kept with me, and really has been a mentor in terms of my songwriting and performing, and he's produced the albums, and so here I am.
Well then, sir. Well, Jim, your lyrics often feel like short stories, some comedy, heartfelt, even ironic. What's your process for turning life experiences or, even crazy ideas into songs?
Well, and I appreciate that you make that comment, because that's that's what I like artists um, who have, irony and, some dark humor. One of my favorite artists was Warren Zevon. And I, have know every one of his songs. I mean, I would just listen. He's still top of my playlist. And so the typical songwriting method is you start with the title, and I keep a list of ideas, and it's like eight single space pages now because it's just whenever I get a crazy idea, and particularly if I get an idea that has some irony or I like irony, I like alliteration. So if I can find if I so something like Heart of Hearing Heart, that actually came out great for me. Um, and then usually I'm doing lyrics first. Um, Not always. As a matter of fact, Too Much Fun uh, was a case of where I had the music and I didn't have lyrics for it. And so I was looking around went through my list of potential hooks and came up with, I actually came up with, there were two different hooks that I had. Um, one was Too Much Fun, and the other was uh, Xanadu or something about Kubla Khan. And so I actually put them together into one song.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, I'm on AIM Country along with several of your songs, so I think of you as country, but you're really more than that. You're country, folk, Americana. How would you describe your music to someone who hasn't heard you yet to, convince them to check you out?
Well, I mean, I'm just an old folk rock guy from the 60s. I mean, so classic, I grew up with classic rock, and that's always been part of the music for me. I attended Woodstock. Uh, but I mean, the biggest artist in my, from a musical perspective I've ever seen and is Bob Dylan. I mean, has influenced me from the beginning, from the early 60s. Um, and the classic rock, and then Paul Simon, Joni Mitchell. Uh, so it's today the term is, I guess, Americana. I mean, back then they call it folk.
Yeah, correct. Well, you've written songs from like really, truly heartfelt ballads to downright comedy. In all these lyrics you've written, is there a lyric that sticks out especially to you that you're just really, really proud of coming up with? It's a hard
Um,
question, isn't it? Because there are so many.
well, I mean, one of the things that was actually about where the songs come from. Um, my daughter, we were just talking, and she said uh, that she'd read a meme or something that said, "Oh, somebody's going to write a country song about somebody's truck who leaves them," and I said, "Okay, I'll do that." And that just hit me as like, "Oh my, that's such a great idea." Um, and so that was when my truck learns how to drive. Uh, uh, so,
I love that one.
well, thank you. And one of the ones that actually I get when I play live that people who know me frequently request is Witness Protection. I mean, that's a funny song, but with a little, I like funny songs, but that have some, heartfelt, serious side to it, uh,
Yeah, a lot of things you do kind of make you kind of think about what is it that Jim's getting at here. Do you ever write with a specific audience in mind, or you just kind of follow wherever your brain leads you?
Um, I'm not, yeah, I don't really write for a specific audience, but I mean, I'm more, as I say, I grew up musically in the 60s, so and a lot of the places I play have a lot of, boomers and, old folks like me there. Although, there are some places I play that have younger people too, which it really does amaze me that how the music of the 60s is held up, and like everybody still recognizes how good that music was, and still is.
Some really good times there for sure. Well, the video we're talking about today is already pushing 400,000 views on YouTube, which kind of become a trend for you. Your last three videos have done really well too. Of course, we're talking about Too Much Fun today. Take a minute before we play the video and tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, as I said, I had the music. In fact, I had an entirely different song written to it, which I didn't like, but I liked the music, so I just ripped that one up. And I had this thing, and I was always thinking about, there's a Coleridge poem in Xanadu to Kubla Khan, a stately treasure dome decree, which, I mean, that's just something that's stuck in my head. And I always sort of thought about, oh, I'd like to start a song that way. So the beginning came out, in Xanadu did Kubla Khan say, let's have a bash. Uh, and I had the idea of Too Much Fun being like that party that gets out of hand that you just want to escape from, uh, before you get into trouble. So that was the thought, and so I came up with these images. I mean, the idea of doing it in a cartoon fit perfectly because I mean, I was imagining these crazy scenes in with the Mongols or the Vikings
Yes,
or
yes,
whatever.
yes, exactly. I think we should let people check it out. I'm ready. Is it okay with you if we play it now?
Great, please.
Great. You're watching Jim Stannard's video for Too Much Fun here on AIM Country Music Television. Wow, that song is already entertaining, but the video really pushes it over the top. Nice work.
Well, thanks. That I did the song, but the video I had, just some very creative people do. I didn't have anything to do with that.
That made me kind of question that because you do have one other song in your repertoire that has a cartoon video called "It's All Turtles." Um,
Oh,
so did you use the same people for that, or is this one off?
no, and I mean, "It's All Turtles" was probably the second song I wrote when I got, serious about writing. And but that was no, we I got a had a different group do that, but that turned out well too. I've always enjoyed that song.
Yeah, that's a good one. You guys out there should check that one out. Well, looking at all this, like when I first saw Kip Winger attached to it, I've always been a big fan of him and Winger, so kind of got my attention right off the bat. But how does being associated with someone like that affect the production on a song like this? Like when you take a song like this to Kip Winger, what kind of advice does he give you to make it be what you wind up with?
Well, what he is, he pulls John Skibbick in too. I will. I do a rough vocal guitar, so I've got the words, the music, um, but I don't have an instrumental arrangement, so it's just me and my guitar. And Kip and John come up with uh, a vibe idea of how to put other instruments on it, and we go back and forth, but I mean usually his ideas are killer ideas, so I almost always say, "Wow." uh, and then and what we've done, the first album was done in mostly in Nashville live, but the last two albums we have done remotely, playing tracks on top, but then I go in live to do the vocals at the end in Nashville.
Right. Well, we probably should mention that John Skibbick is not a nobody either. He's been around
Yeah.
for a long time. He's been involved in tons of really high profile projects himself.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, this song, it's part of your new project. It's just released called Magical. It's 10 songs. I think this one's a perfect representation of your style. There are songs that kind of lean into that tongue in cheek, like You Turned Red, That Made Me Blue, Waking Up Dead, and of course, Too Much Fun. But there's also some that are much more sentimental and heartfelt, like Looking Back and
Mhm.
when the West Was One come to mind. There's a lot of sort of introspective stuff there too. So pretty wide coverage of your style.
Well, thank you.
Oh, and this one is also, we should mention it. You can get a CD or a vinyl. One last thing. You started your actual music career much later than most, after experiencing a successful business career. It looks to me like it's worked out pretty well for you. But looking back, given the chance, would you have done anything differently?
No, no, because it is. I mean, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. I enjoyed my career, and I look, I mean, the musicians I know, the music is such a hard business. I mean, you can, uh, it is, and I know young musicians today who are touring and, making money out of it, but it is such a tough business now that, I'm I think I got the best of both worlds, being able to come into it, come into it later, enjoy it. I have a ball when I play live, and I have a ball making this music. Uh, but without the pressures that professional musicians have.
Right. Well, you've definitely found a sweet spot. Well, I'm sure everyone watching would like to get to know a little bit more about you. So I'd love for you to tell us where to find you online, on stage, and where we can buy or listen to all of your music.
Well, I'd say, YouTube channel is one of the um, best spots. I'm on Spotify. I'm on all the major music outlets. And in terms of playing live, uh, I pretty much just do that locally in Sarasota, Florida, and in Beaver Creek, Colorado, which is where the two places I hang out. I'm in Beaver Creek right now, and I have um, don't have any plans to tour, but I do enjoy playing locally.
Fantastic. Well, Jim, it's been delightful having you on today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Stanard. So, what do you think? Is Too Much Fun going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliat for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.
Too much fun.